Good evening, StreamYard and uh, YouTube fans. I have a little different setup here tonight because I'm wanting to show you something. I'm having a screen share here. It has that picture-in-picture effect, um, but I need to have it in order to show you kind of what I'm talking about because as you see in the title, it's box scores, banners, and tickers. And tickers is a new thing on StreamYard, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you tonight um, for a little bit. But first off, I'm going to show you my box score from my last game. Oh, shoot. I That's right. Oh, oh, I see. Now I had to switch screens here. Instead of sharing, I'm just going to share with you now this was the box score that I created for my most recent game. And what I did is I put the uh, episode, the date that it was played, um, who was the visitors, who was the home team. I put the pitchers, Willie Jefferson, Satchel Paige, and then see if I can, I think I'm going the wrong way. It went too far. And then from the second, hey Appachatter, hey SMR, I'm kind of showing you how I created my box score after my last game. Basically, I put the episode, the date, who played, who was the visitors, who was the home team, the pitchers, and then I'm only going to be concerned. I only want to be concerned about the innings that there was actually a score. Um, and that's the reason why I have the bottom of the second, the top of the fifth, and the bottom of the fifth, and the bottom of the sixth, because that's where all my scoring was. And some of it was easy because there's home runs. Uh, then you have like the top of the fifth, where if I would have just put Armour's home run, then it's like, well, how did they get the second run then? And see, Davenport before him walked, and so that's the reason why sometimes you have to put those walks and errors in because they lead to other runs. A good example is the bottom of the fifth, where Page got on because of an error, and then Williams singled, and then Sorrell singled, and that scored Page. And at the well, this is kind of my first attempt at it. I That's one of the things I want to do is to keep kind of better records, and I really prefer to do things by my own hand. Um, and then my MVP was Strong because he got the last home run. And if you look, uh, Page had three strikeouts. Jefferson had three strikeouts. There was an error for each team, and Page walked one. The final was Cleveland had 5 hits, 2 runs, one error. And Kansas City had 9 hits, 3 runs, one error. And both pitchers went the distance. So yeah, and I want to do more of this. And I also went tonight and did the, you know, where the the batters, whether they went 1 for 2 or 3 for 4 or whatever. I did that as well. And that's how I came up with the hits and the runs and that. All right. Now I'm going to use my share screen here. And the reason being is I wanted to talk about the idea of banners and tickers. Now, if you look where where it says banners, you'll see all the banners here that are in gray that I used for my game. Some of them I used, some of them I didn't. The first thing I put up is my name, followed by the episode. I put up the fact that it's not kid friendly. And then who it was. That was Negro League Ball. And then I think my only ticker was basically the score. And if you notice that under where it says Negro League Baseball, the score is running constantly underneath that. And if I wanted to get rid of the Negro Baseball and go back to my name, you just select that particular banner. But in order to create a banner, basically you go to where it says banners. You hit at the very bottom there. Let me get rid of. I'm going to get rid of the ticker as well. But where it says create banner, you hit create banner, and then you can put in whatever text you want, but you only get 120 letters. So if I want to say hi, Appa Chatter, and then I put add banner. But if I wanted it to be a ticker, I check the scroll across bottom, and then I hit add banner, and then when I click on that hi, then it becomes a ticker, and I have a same for Appa Chatter there. Now, if I wanted to edit it and I just wanted it to be a banner, I uncheck that, save, and now it's in big bold lettering that it's say hi Appa Chatter. Yeah, it is. It is very nice, Steve, and that's how I get the idea of uh, top of the ninth, bottom of the ninth, and I don't know how many of these banners you can create. I don't know if there's a limited number or if you can have more if you're a premium member or whatever. But the idea of these tickers is something that that StreamYard just added. And the other thing is you'll see it says hide, and then I just hit that and it goes away. It shows again. But the really interesting thing is it has a pen icon where you can uh, add additional comments if you wanted. But every time that you add something, you're going to have to save it because otherwise it'll stay what you originally, what you originally put. If you wanted to delete it, there's a trash can app there, and you just hit trash can, and boom, it's gone. Um, and yes, StreamYard is free, but uh, it is also, if you want premium services, those are extra, and I'm only in it for free kind of stuff, and I'm what I find and use is I use for my games and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to get on here and show you kind of what it takes for me to create. And I've got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I mean, look, I had pages, uh, notations in that for the game. I had Jefferson's notations for the game. I let you know that Kansas City is fielding one, Cleveland was fielding two. Um, but I wouldn't have done the fielding one and the fielding two if Cleveland was one and Kansas City was one, because there's no need for it. But when one team is a one and another team is a two, it's you kind of need to let your viewers know that there's a difference in this game, and it may affect or it may not affect the outcome of the game because of it. Uh, there's the lineups for Cleveland. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually um, create that as a ticker, and then when the Cleveland's up at the plate, I would click on that, and you could see who's due up next. Say you're in the fourth inning and Davenport's up, you can see who comes after him in the lineup and stuff. Uh, Another way you could do it is individual, individual. You can do it individually with have one for each batter as they come up in the lineup and stuff. It's just all according to how you want to do it. Um, and like this number, I had to change that because this isn't Pavilion 9 anymore. This is Pavilion 10, and I can put in there box scores. And that's exactly what I titled this particular episode. Box scores, banners, and tickers. Oh my! But if you but you're limited to how many. Yeah, I'm doing this on a computer. Um, I'm doing this on my HP. Um, I don't know if you can do it on a tablet. I know that I've tried to use StreamYard through my telephone, and I get a message every time I do it that says, um, you have to use, yeah, laptop, my HP laptop. You can use a computer as well, PC as well, uh, but. Um, every time I try using phone, it says you have to use a PC or a laptop for StreamYard. Don't ask me why, it's just the way it is. But I just kind of wanted to get on here and show you some of my new things that I'm learning and using, and that I had somebody ask me about it during my last broadcast, and so I decided to get on here and do a tutorial on it. And I was trying to figure out how to do it. I was going to use my camera, but my camera wouldn't focus in, and then I saw a screen share, and I said, "Oh, well, let me see if you can see." Yeah, see, now you see what Appa had to say there, or like the last comment where it's that it's kind of similar to me clicking on your names. Yeah, I don't know too much about green screen myself, but these banners are something new for me. But when you choose, like I said, when you go to choose it, you have to, if you wanted a ticker, you have to click on that white box, then it'll become blue, and then you put save, and now the Negro League Baseball becomes a ticker on the bottom. If you want it just to be a banner, unclick, save again, and boom, Negro Baseball is a big banner. Yeah, I've that's how I pretty much learned uh, APA and Strat myself is just watching the instructional videos, and um, these banners and tickers for me are another gun and another bullet in the arsenal type thing, um, and that's kind of all I have for you tonight. Um, you all have a good evening. Keep rolling the dice. I hope you get all the outcomes that you want, especially the 66 and that, where you get the home runs and that. And I'm not sure what my next game is going to be. I know my next game I'm planning on Saturday sometime. I want to try to do it in the morning, but I think it might be another Negro League Baseball uh, game, and I'm gonna. Somebody told me about the Indianapolis Clowns at church last night, and since I have the Negro League set, I want to take a look and see if they are in the set, and if they are, uh, I might have the Indianapolis Clowns versus another team. I didn't know anything about the Indianapolis Clowns until they said something, so I'm going to check and see if if they're a part of the Negro League set. If they are, it's probably um well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is that the 2012 NL set from? Yeah, I all I know is it's the Negro League set. It's what they call the Negro League set, and the teams, all the teams, I think are from around the 40s and 30s, and that. But the big name that I know of is Satchel Paige from that and that's the reason why I chose the Kansas City Monarchs. Uh, and then I saw that there was a Cleveland Buckeyes, and since I'm like the river's right across from me, and Ohio State's, the big college football thing, I thought, well, that's close enough. I mean, Cleveland Buckeyes. I think that's the closest the kind of the Negroes got to Cincinnati is Cleveland. So I said that's close enough. Um, and the game, if you watched it, you'll have to go back to episode 9. But it was a very, very good game, very close. The pitchers really were, as far as strikeouts, they had the same amount. The run, I mean, uh, Kansas City had more hits, of course, but you know, but it basically came down to home runs, which I thought was strange. And there really wasn't. I mean, even though it seems like 9 hits is a lot for Kansas City, there really wasn't. It didn't seem like a lot of uh, people on base. It was a single here, single there type thing. Uh, but you guys have a good evening. I hope the rolls are in your favor. And until at least Saturday, probably is my next game. You all have a good evening. And I love you, and so does God. Take care.